watching Channel 20 TV. Be with Channel 20 and let us make things better together.
Dear guests, welcome to our today's show. Today in Channel 20, we have got a very specific guest for the specific purpose. We're going to talk about EV, electric vehicle, and we're going to talk about the prospects in Bangladesh. We've got today with us Najbul H. Khan, one of the leading pioneers into this sector who has been working, who's trying to understand what's going on into this particular sector. We will try to know, understand, and learn many things from him. And I'm sure all of you are going to get the benefit out of it. So let's welcome Najbul H. Khan in our today's show. Hello, sir. How are you today?
And thank you so much, Asif. I'm so glad that you have knocked me to speak on this area. So I'm not a very sector specialist, but yeah, I'm looking an eye on this because this is definitely an emerging sector and it's bringing huge opportunities for our country. And from this perspective, I can give you or share some ideas. That's it. I'm not an engineer. I'm not I'm not the entrepreneur in that sector, but I'm looking at
no worries. So I'll request you first and foremost if you can introduce yourself and explain a little bit about your current work, so that our audience can get some idea about you. That'll be beneficial. So please, over to you and introduce yourself and your work.
Yeah, I'm Najbul Khan. I'm the CEO and founder of Part 2. Part 2 is an organization that's working for because I don't believe on the definition like social enterprise, impact investment and all these things. So it is basically, I come up from the point that that in Bangladesh NGO culture is very popular, and I had been developing my career in development sector, and last 22 years I have been working in the enterprise development area very specifically and in South Asia, because I studied in India and I started my career in private sector in India, and then I shifted in Bangladesh. I started working SME development and funded by USAID, and then I worked for different donors in Sri Lanka, in Myanmar. So that's how I got a very nice ideas about the potentials of the South Asia and the sectors and the culture and the anthropology that people are coming from. And if you rightly put an eye, you will be seeing that economy is basically determined by the anthropology and the background of the human psychology and evolution. So I'm so happy that I got those opportunity to get into the people and know some that point of view. And South Asia is the most densely populated area. The demographical and cultural similarities are there across the region. So still we were heavily, I would say that there were many subsidized projects were funded by donor, and the NGO cultures developed a lot. And so I got the opportunity to Spain, and I would say kind of in bracket, I spoiled a lot of monies too behind the SMEs. I don't know how much I have made success, like 10%, 15%, but I have got the opportunity to experiment different sector, different sides of the businesses, and not from my pocket. So at some point I feel like I must be obligated and to do something else, that how development organizations, NGOs, and these social organization or civil society organization can contribute to the progress of the economy. And therefrom I established an organization which is known as Part 2. Part 1 was basically a part of growing economy, and then Part 2 is basically a different story. From that philosophy, I keep the organization names Part 2. So if you see the bigger picture of Bangladesh, that by 2030, Bangladesh will be totally different, and by 2041, it would be more different. So we cannot really wait for other people to suggest us and just to, that other people will make our country develop. It is our responsibility, and we'll rewrite the story. From that was the purpose of my organization, and I'm working with different development agencies to bring different projects with for-profit motive, with the concept of sustainability. That's my work is.
Now, what I can hear from you, I can get some echo from our Honorable Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, especially once she was, determined about the Padma River Bridge that let us build on our own money. That's really appreciable, no doubt about that. But, there's always room for the critics, for the criticism. Today, once you are sharing with us some glorifying prospect of Bangladesh, we would love to be hopeful. But at the same time, there's another side of the picture. People are struggling, they are complaining, there is a nepotism. People are saying, oh, look at there's a corruption. People are saying, oh, look at their poverty. So once, same time, you were coming up with the news that, well, in Bangladesh, we will have EV, electric vehicle plant, and that time is not so far. It's going to come to the reality. What are we going to do as a general public? Are we still going to be hopeful for the new era that you are showing as the dream? Is it really going to become true, or it will remain as dream for us? I'm talking about for the mass population.
Actually, if you see that Bangladesh is a country of 6 seasons, and during monsoon we get a lot of shower, downpouring, and our roads get muddy, and that's the nature of the Bangladesh climate. So you expect rain, you expect muddy road, and irrespective of where you are, you may be in Dhaka, in Rajshahi, in Chittagong, in hill tracts, wherever you are. So actually, globally, the situation is like that. There are a lot of negativity and corruptions and negative aspects are there, and that is how the climate is. So once you are in Bangladesh, you will be having a lot of downpour during the rainy season. It is you who will decide that how you will save yourself from the mud, and still you will walk, still you will go for the work, you will still make things happen, done. So these complaints are not new. These are nothing exceptional happening in Bangladesh. So still people are working, and I'm from very rural area. I visited my village. I come back from Rajshahi, my village, on 7th of August. I spent there 2 weeks, and I visited a number of farmers. I visited many poor people, my neighbors. I speak, and I understand how these people used to live 30 years back or 10 years before. So I can see the changes. These are very much visible. So I don't want to depend on the statistics. I want to see what I am seeing now. Done. So now the question about this dream. Yeah, actually, if you see that, that although we are fighting with Vietnam for RMG sector, whether we are second and third, and you know the consequences and the background. But if you see that in aquaculture, we are third or fourth in poultry, in animal husbandry, we are third or fourth. And these are not something like that. It's happened over the night, and somebody can change the data and say, well, these are all manufactured. We can see, can you imagine this during this Kurbani and last couple of years, there are no cattle coming from India, but still people are happy in the price. If you see, if the price of the Hilsha right at this moment, 1 kg Hilsha is 800 taka in Bosundhara Gate Bazaar. And this has been happening for last 5 years. It never happened 6 years before. I mean, the price was always fluctuating, and we are getting 1 kg hilsha more than any times. And when the population is increased, when people are getting more purchasing power. So I see that hilsha production and conservation is done carefully, done. We have to admit, we have to recognize, we have to say thanks to those departments who are ensuring the, conservation during the breeding season and all these things. We are not talking all these things. Done. So yes, I admit we have a lot of negativism, we have a lot of issues, but it's like rainy season, you have to save yourself from mud and move. Done.
Now,
And
yeah,
I'm coming to the EV point. I'm sorry.
please,
Your question, because EV is a reality. Because if you see that, how Bangladesh was, becoming a country of RMG. The history is something like that. The background is same like that. That when we have a big market like India, China, and these technologies are not very sensitive technology. I'm telling EV, people might think that it is a huge technology. In fact, I visited the Mireshwarai plant, which is under construction. I spoke to the entrepreneur and the investor, and I spoke to the technicians, and I found that it is not even under a medium or large industry sector. It is taken as a light engineering sector. So once I have seen the technology of the EV, I find, oh my God, we are producing a lot of more technology based product than EV, and why not we didn't look at this before? Simple. So it might think that, oh my God, I wrote an article in Daily Star maybe in February or March, sometime in January. I started like that, in Bangladesh or any other South Asian country or everywhere, when we dream for a success, we dream for a house, we dream for a car. So car is one of the item of the dream, and that's even we are producing in Bangladesh. Can't accept it. So it's basically a cultural shock that, oh my God, such a sensitive item will be produced. This dream item will be produced in Bangladesh. Can we do that? It's a lack of confidence only, but it's not a factor at all. And that's we are going to see it very soon.
Inshallah. Now, I'll just ask you a little bit critically some questions relating to EV. We don't have any doubt about the EV plant. We don't have any doubt about the credibility. We don't have any doubt about the government's interest and their support on this particular sector. It's fantastic. No worries. But our doubt will be, once it's been produced and, distributed, and once people are having it, how they're going to ensure the charging hub, the facility of charging hub, will it be available all across the country? Uninterrupted service, or you think it might create some hiccups? Are we planning ahead? Are we somehow aligned with the Ministry of Power, Energy? I mean, how's the collaboration is going on? Or are we depending on technical hand from other countries, maybe from China or other Asian countries? Or what about the capacity building locally? How are we, adequately amalgamating all these?
I understand completely where from you are coming, and I had the same queries with the investor and that how they are doing it. And what impressed me, that they are talking about the whole ecosystem. And actually, I have couple of experience in different sector in Bangladesh, because in 2002, 3, in those years, we used to work on sector basis. I used to work for USAID jobs project, and then we used to work in jute sector, leather sector, IT sector, like that. So I am more fascinated with the sectoral approach than running after a single enterprise, because one single enterprise cannot attract the investor and as a country of importance from the rest of the globe. So once I speak with this investor, I found one interesting thing, that he comes from the mind that they want to set an example that this is how it should be taken to the next step, and how other associated entrepreneur will come up. Because when they are talking about the electric vehicle, they are talking about the battery system, charging system, and everything. I mean, even not only they are thinking about the batteries for those electric vehicles, but that batteries can utilize for other purposes as well, when we are talking about the alternative energy sector and the renewable energy sector like solar plant and all these things. So here is the area that once we are struggling to promote the sector of the solar energy sector, and we are struggling with the traditional battery, then they are talking about the lithium battery, which is basically reducing the cost and giving the larger life. So basically, once they are talking about the ecosystem, they are talking about different stations and charging point, how the other entrepreneur, because you know very well that once you are an established entrepreneur, the other small enterprise grow with your business. So it is basically, again, if you see the supply chain and supply system and the associated enterprise, so there is a huge opportunity to other entrepreneur to invest and become part of the whole ecosystem. Now, being, say, I have 1 million taka, why not I invest and become a small charging station for this brand and this company? So this is how it's bringing the other entrepreneur to invest and come up the as part of this shared economy. It's not nobody keeps the thing in your single hand. So it is completely based on the shared concept of the shared economy, where other people will come and invest and can get benefit out of this. So it is not a business of a single person or a single sector. It will rather make leverage in other sectors and renewable sector as well. We are not talking about the climate and only that. I mean, so it has a lot of economic opportunities. Done. I mean, that's my observation. I mean,
sounds really good and realistic. But my next question is, do you reckon the entire project can be handled and tackled by the Bangladesh government or Bangladeshi-owned investors group? Or do you think they will be still require some fund from abroad? What's your prediction?
I mean, if you see as a sector, I always think that there are always opportunities to grow. So it is an initial investment where they're getting some investment, they're putting some money from the pocket, they're getting from investment from different commercial bank, and government is giving some subsidies in terms of the policies and whole trade policies, and which is very good news that in special economic zones, government are creating all sort of infrastructural facilities. And once I visited the place, I was amazed to see that I was talking with the people who were establishing the electric line and making the roads inner road in the economic zone and the whole system. One thing I find, I mean, I was impressed with all the endeavors, and the people are communicating to each other and they're sorting out within the locality and not taking too far and making it too bureaucratic. That's impressed me, number one. Number two is that, yes, one thing I find as a weakness, that that we are telling that this is a high tech and it's a new area for anybody else, and people, the layman to get involved in a factory job when you don't have any background and knowledge and technology. So I spoke to the people, the investor, and they feel like how they will be trained and how their recruitment policy, how they will, bring the skilled worker here. That's fine. I have one question, that's because I had the opportunity to closely work with Bangladesh Skill Development Authority and Skill Development Authority, because I used to, I did design one project on skills.
You mean NSDA, National Skills Development Authority?
NSDA. Yeah, NSDA, National Skill Development Authority, right. Yep. Thank you so much, Asif. You are so informed, and I'm so glad. Yeah, so NSD is basically, and I find that in NSD you will find that they have opened different sectoral center of excellence where from they're coming with, and they have live engineering and all these things. I have the same question. I was attending another webinar yesterday, last evening, and I had the same question that, look, technology is moving very fast, and the people who are coming new in the job, young generation can adapt it very quickly. But they are not the only generation who are seeking the employment, and they need to learn all these things. People like who are aged from 30 to 45, 50 are also vulnerable, and they need to pick these technologies very fast. And where is the system that you cannot always hire the people from the new generation, because as you know, the new theory is telling that Bangladesh generation and population growth will be stable at a certain stage. So the middle-aged people should be introduced with the new technology so that they can adopt this technology and employment system. So I am really, as a development guy, I'll be more advocating on how government should give an eye on the issue that even people who are on the job can pick the new knowledge and technology to switch in the new technology when the other technologies are getting abundant and not any more effective. So that is the only issue I find that where government should give emphasis, that creating more technical people. But otherwise, in the place in the government actors who are basically working on the infrastructures are doing fantastic job. It's moving very fast. And if you have any experience passing through the Dhaka-Chittagong highway, the right side was a barren place, was nothing, and then it turned to all in a sudden an industrial park, and that's going on, and seeing it, believing it.
Now, my question is, what you reckon that when can we expect this EV plant can be functioning? Do you reckon it's a matter of a year time, or what's your projection?
Yeah, once I spoke to the investor and concerned people, I understand that it was supposed to start by this year, but actually, because of the coronavirus and because many people, and the part of the investors are from China, and they are also academicians, and they were a consultant for those companies of China, so they are really not able to visit Bangladesh, and so things have slowed down definitely. But it is same like if you see the Padma Bridge, that is still we are hoping to finish it by December, but there might be some hiccups, as you say. So because of this corona, it might be delayed, but it is not like that things are stopped and things are not moving. It's not like that. It's moving. Yeah. Maybe might be little changed.
Maybe by the next year, for example, hopefully.
Maybe first half of next year.
All right. Whenever you uttered the word investors from China, so I would like to ask you, who are the foreign investors? Are they only going to be from China? If it is so, does it mean that again they will invest money, make money in Bangladesh, and traditionally they'll take the benefit out of the country? What's the overall scenario?
Yeah, in the special economic zone has a couple of policies which help the investors, overseas investor, to invest more. It is kind of a government, policy that they want to see that more investors are coming here. So it's once we establish the BIDA and BOI, the target of this institution is to attract more investor. So it is something else, that it is not hide and seek. Yes, you come, you invest, you take your margin, and we know where our benefits are there, because once you will be doing business here, we will be getting a lot of employment, and while we'll be exporting these items, we know where to get our trade benefits, and that's same. So anybody throughout the globe, if you see the recent China and US trade where you will see investment floating here to there, and the people who are, making more facilities, giving the more, creating the friendly environment are getting advantage. And Bangladesh is in a priority, positions that government is trying hard to attract more investment. Nothing wrong with that. And yeah, they will be taking definitely their benefit out of that, and nothing wrong with that. It's a business.
Yeah, that's a business as long as it, benefits our own country. That's fine. But my concern and my little bit doubt, I'm not sure who's the parental ministry for this project, but we're not getting the vibes from Ministry of Commerce or Ministry of Industry or even Ministry of Power and Energy. Don't you reckon they're supposed to come forward and put this agenda in front and let the Bangladeshi people be proud on this particular ground? Because we are rarely listening from them. We are not getting any vocal from any concerned ministry. What's the reason?
Yeah, actually, Asif, I have to tell you one thing, that everybody has their priority. Definitely. I mean, so we are so glad. Even once I visited the site and I spoke to the entrepreneur, and I would rather say I'm so happy the way it's moving, because the point you started with, that there are a lot of negative and pessimism about Bangladesh, pessimistic comments about Bangladesh, and still we are dreaming for electric vehicle, EV. So once I saw that things are moving in Bangladesh in special economic zone, then my first question was that, so there are few people who are really working. So you understand that there are always few people who work, and everybody has their priorities. So there are priorities that the ministries and the concerned officials are moving with. So once things are moving, it says clearly that despite a lot of issues, government is desperate to implement this, and bringing different dots in the single platform, and that's fine. And now about the propaganda and attracting, I mean, as you understand that this is definitely a dream project, so I appreciate that it should go slow to going for the propaganda and all this thing to attract more attract the rest of the globe. So I think once next 6 months or 1 year, once it will be, you will see our own car, you won't require much to talk. It will happen automatically. I mean, automatically. I mean, like I was listening about the investor that they will be organizing road show and all this thing with their new product, and they'll be. So it's very interesting that our car will be moving around with what else?
And I reckon so. Yeah, I do have trust on that. Now, particularly some data-centric question. What you reckon was the size of the local market? If I ask you in financial figure, what you reckon?
Rightly, I can't recall that. I did a lot of research a couple of months before about the sector, and I find that if you see the, even I have to look at the, I mean, those, if we say those terminology, like once in globally, in other countries, like developed countries, that people, let me tell you, I mean, it is something like 12% of the, okay, it's something like, I would say, like, automobile density, global average is 12%. So it is something like that in Bangladesh, which is 0.5%. Remember the term automobile density. So the density in Bangladesh is 0.5 when global is 12%. One data for you that where our different is, and another is I'm telling you that we are having a very fast moving middle class people who are basically capable to buy the car. Like if you say it's like
Potential customers.
12 million, it's 12 million
Mm.
medium and affluent class who are capable to, buy this car anytime. So
Mm.
once the density of the automobile is so low, and where there is a huge class of people who can afford the car, it's a
Mhm.
complete indication that you are not basically buying the car because of some barriers and policies. So
Mm.
once you will find it easily, you will buy it. And again, I had the same question that, oh my God, if the car are increased, then our road will be more,
Congested.
traffic overloaded and all these things. But I'm not I'm not thinking, or the entrepreneur are not thinking that they're bringing the new cars. You have one car, you'll be buying another car because car is cheap. No, you'll be replacing your car the moment you are using it, because it's not cost effective. Simple.
Mm.
The Uber will not encourage to take the premium or like this. They will
Other
be they'll be encouraging for this EV. Simple.
the
The
old
motorbike.
taxis will be replacing, this EV. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Something like that. I mean,
Then I'm going to take it to another question on this. If it really comes to the reality by the middle of next year or so, if we remain positive and if everything favors into our own way, then when is the time you think, after fulfilling the local market need? I know it's a very early to ask, but again, after fulfilling the local market need and demand, when Bangladesh can proudly initiate the journey to export? What you reckon? The time is too far, or it's too early to comment?
yeah, it's definitely too early to comment, because once you are establishing a new plant and coming up with a new product, so there are some time for trial and all these things. And although it's not a very new technology, but still, I mean, once you are buying a new brand and with a new product, it has some uh, honeymoon time to understand how it goes and how it's work in the local market. But I believe, like, technology is moving so fast and the information is so transparent and nothing is hide. So any buyer from other country will get to know about what is happening in Bangladesh, how it is cheaper than other places. So even if somebody want to buy the cars, or even like the big brand globally, as part of their product, they buy it from different garments factory with their own brand and all these things. So who knows, that thing will happen, that once they will see that Bangladesh is producing the car, not the undergarments only, then day after tomorrow they will be asking that, hey, we need this car, this is our logo, this is our brand, and this is our quality. Done.
Yeah. Then the question is, who's going to give Bangladesh the technical know-how? Is it from the China company? I mean, who is the technically guys who are going to be involved for this project?
Actually, at the moment, I mean, China, some researchers, as I was telling, that they are presently or have been working in Chinese company as a consultant, are basically giving the technology, and who are investor as well here. So they have their interest as well. They are not the giving the technical know-how, but as well as the, mm, they are looking for their own business. I mean, so this is the only companies or foreign investor so far I know. But I believe that this will that's my idea, because I have seen, I'm in 2003 4 I used to work for one company which we started working for IKEA for the the rag rugs, which was produced from the garments wastes. And then we used to work only for IKEA, and then we found that other companies and brands are also understanding that, hey, it is available in Bangladesh. No more from India. We can buy it from Bangladesh as well. So it is something same like that. So once the Chinese investor or technical know-how and these are coming, so other people will come automatically that, yeah, it is available in Bangladesh. Where shall we go? Simple.
So if
So
I ask you, Najbul, the background, is it like Chinese investors came to Bangladesh and open up into our mind that yes, we can do it? Or it's like pull factor that no, Bangladeshi entrepreneurs and investors, they had this idea and they pulled the technical know-how team from China. How did it start?
uh, it's a very good question, and it's a very critical question, because I never thought about that how the story began. So I appreciate. But what I understand that, last couple of years, Bangladesh was exporting motorbikes.
Mm,
And, Runner is a very popular brand, and we are exporting nearby countries, and we are exporting bicycle. And so motorized and non-motorized vehicle from Bangladesh are already penetrating global market.
mhm,
So from even tires and all these accessories, we have been working on this in Bangladesh. So at one point, somebody should look at that. Why not the public vehicle? So it was nothing very, to be surprised that. So the innovators and the entrepreneurs are always look for the innovation. So I find this Mango group who have the Mango Televis, and they are the people who bring internet services in Bangladesh at a very cheaper rate, and it's like from 50 paisa to 5 paisa, so it's something like that. So there are people who knows how to make the avenue shortcut, how to cut the avenues. So once they find that, why not we do it in Bangladesh? When people are looking at China, probably they have come from that perspective. I'm not sure, I never asked this question, but I understand that they have couple of businesses in different sector, where they found probably that this can be a very good area, and they were working on batteries, lithium batteries and all these things, because for renewable energy, this is a very effective replacement of the traditional batteries. So probably that's how this came in their mind, and from there they have given a thought to work on that. But I'm not pretty sure. I never asked this question.
no worries, no worries. Now, I would like to just ask for the curiosity of our audience. They might have this sort of curiosity in their mind. If you can just share, I know you don't know the exact figure right now, but what you reckon, what might be the price range for standard EV that's are coming up from Bangladeshi plant? What you reckon the range? What you expect?
I had a couple of questions to the investor on this, about the prices, and also about the longevity, the resale value, and all these things. Honestly, because I have my vehicle is Toyota, and it's 2000 cc, and I have been using it for 5 years. And once purchased it, I think I always there was a consideration that I can sell it anytime. So resale value and all these things. So actually, everybody in Bangladesh who are using the motorized vehicle has a dream of SUV and all these things. So first question is, how would be the price of the SUV? So it is like, if it is like 40 to 50 lakhs, like 4 to 5 million BDT in Bangladesh, the normal SUV, then my question was to compare that how you are going to, put the price of the SUV. So once I heard it's like 2 million instead of 4 or 5 million.
Oh,
That surprised me. Because I often go to India, and I see the SUV of Mahindra and all these things, and my in-laws. I'm married in India, and actually, my brother-in-laws, everybody has SUV, and once I go there, I feel like, oh my God, so cheap. They use it, but we can't afford it. So then I think, wow, I will have my SUV. The same. So people like middle class like me, now we can think that, yeah, we can buy this. The same. That's my sense of pricing, that once the Indian people are buying the SUV of Mahindra and other good brand of 1.24, 1.4 million, something like that, we can buy it below 2 million. Done. And with all this fuel efficiency, and let's not talk about that once you are talking about the EV, how is the benefit and the cost?
So that means within 2 million Bangladeshi taka, hopefully that'll be
the SUV. I'm talking about the SUV. So, I mean, you understand the sedan and even the three-wheeler and how the price, the ratio is like 40% of the market price of the present SUV or other vehicle we see. So the price will come down at least to 40%.
Oh, that's a very good benchmark. Now, yeah, you were discussing about India, and yes, that's going to take to my next level of question. How securely we can manage this investment? That's my question, because you know, Bangladesh do not have any past track record in planting such type of heavy vehicle plants. Whereas India has. If you talk about India, then we know Tata, Nano, there are Mahindra, as you say, and there are so on and so many. How confident we are that in Bangladesh we will not have much regional competition or hiccups? How confident we are?
Actually, if you see in Bangladesh, we are blessed with so many things. I'm so much optimistic about this because personally, I'm not sure whether you know it. I spent my 6 years student life in India. I got married in India. I often go to India. But in Bangladesh, we have some competitive advantages. And one of these that, we don't have the tradition. We don't have the background of a big industry like Tata or all these things. I mean, we don't have. We are not. We are a nation of the farmers. We are basically the farmers, a nation of farmers, and we are proud of that. We have a heart of farmers. So we have trust, we have liberal love, we have respect, we are simple. So these are social capital, and these are convertible to cash. So yes, in Bangladesh, if you see the history of the R&G, it is not that we seek the market. The market came to us.
Sure.
It's very simple that in Bangladesh, culturally, it's a country that once you come in Bangladesh and in my house, if you come in the morning, I'll offer, hey, come and have a breakfast with me. No, I have done my breakfast. Oh, then you have a cup of coffee. No, I don't take much coffee. Then you stay and you will have lunch. No, I have a meeting. I'll go. The host feel guilt that I can't feed anything. You won't find a second country. While if you visit a house and the host will feel guilt that he can't offer you something else.
Sure.
It's a unique nation. So our country, by heart, we are farmer. And I believe that, we didn't have much background. We are not a nation of dorjis and tailors, but we have made history in R&D. We are making history in IT. We are making history in electrical and electronics. The Alton is doing a lot of things. And we are bringing all the technology. And mind it, technology is no more an issue of hide and seek. It's a matter of giving efforts and the efficiency. And our people work. We don't take the weekend. We don't go to club, and we don't have any, in a sense, we don't have a life of like, I often say to do relax. We are a country of hardworking. We work. So why not? Because technologies are not protected, the patents are not that difficult that we cannot bring it. We have pharmaceutical industries. You see, the pharmacy, the medicine is the most sensitive items. It's more than food. It saves life, and we are exporting pharmaceuticals product in 147 countries.
Sure.
So what sensitive product you look for when you produce the medicine and export? exporting in US, Japan, China.
True, true.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that means we should avoid all the propagandas. We should shut the mouth of the critics and keep on going so that we can reach our destiny and make our people proud and enhance the growth of our country. In the meantime, I would like to ask you one question regarding the job prospect. Uh, for sure, when there is a new industry, there's a huge opportunity for the job market. But do you have enough capacity to inject who are going to be involved in this production of EV, or you think again it needs some timeline to depend on local employees? What you reckon?
Look, it depends that what you are working with. I mean, if you see that initially when we started with the RMG, we were hiring the designer. Okay, we used to get order for the customized design, and then gradually we produce a lot of designers. Then we offered the buyers that these are the designs we can make available for you. Although the big brands have their own design, and that's how the order comes. So it is something at the initial stage. Of course, we'll have to invite experts. We have to take assistance from China and other people who will be giving the technical support. But it's not something else that you have to continuously take this support. This is the reality. I'm talking from my experience from other sector. I mean, still if you see, like, there is another reason that why we need to hire managers from India, Sri Lanka in government sectors and other things. Let's talk in another day on this issue. But still, I mean, that's our limitation, that in few areas we are not smart enough. And probably we are behind and pushing us to be good manager and all these things. That's another psychology. So same way, if we think about bringing the technology and technicians at the initial stage, yeah, we'll be definitely hiring some technicians and technologists, but the basic worker and the managers and up to certain level, it would be the people of Bangladesh. There is no way that we'll be hiring a lot of worker, to establish the system, to initiate the process. That's not very unusual that you will be taking help from friends. But at some point you will be doing by yourself, because as I was telling, the technology is not that complicated. It's a matter of doing it, executing it efficiently, and keep on doing R&D. Done.
What's your upcoming or current dream project from part 2, or even you as an individual? What's your dream project?
Actually, my dream project, as I was talking about, that presently I'm working on the agriculture sector. Basically, I see huge opportunity, and I often write on this, and I do advocacy on that. Our farmers are not getting the price, and people are talking more on the issues that farmers are not getting the price. We are buying at high price, and middlemen are snatching everything. So we are all talking about the issues. We are not talking about the solutions. So I'm trying to work on this sector, that how in this whole sector, that I mean, this system can be upgraded. It's not saying system should be little smarter or something like that. Whole system needs to be redesigned. So I'm trying to attract the investor. That you see, I'm giving a simple data. I mean, if you have time, I'm giving you an example like that. If you see, in Bangladesh, per person, I live in Bosundhara residential area, where according to the International Food Policy Research Institute in Bangladesh, it's a US organization, it shows in 2016 that per capita in middle class, we spend 3,500 BDT to buy the agriculture commodity as food. So if you see now, it is like 5,000 in 2020. If a family consumes 15,000 taka food, value of food is 15,000, at least 10,000 is locally produced agricultural produces. and that's we buy per month from the either from the super shop or from a little smarter vegetable vendor or from online. And if you compare that, in Bosundhara, there are how many blocks, how many households, how many apartments, how many buildings, how many middle class are buying this agriculture produce every day, and it's a huge amount per year. So it's a big market, and nobody is putting their head here that, hey, it is a big market and we like to invest. That's my area to attract the investor. Come and join here. Let us together strengthen the system and change this system so that the farmers can sell their produce ahead of cultivation. Simple. They know that I'm doing this, I'm producing this, and this is already sold out.
That
Why
means
not?
a digital touch may, change your
Yeah,
drastically.
you can introduce blockchain. You can introduce the set transactional financial transaction. There are a lot of components will be added here, and it's a huge opportunity for investor to take the market when the people purchasing power is growing every day.
My next question is in today's world, right at this point in time, once we're talking about in 2020, what sort of dream you dream for Bangladesh? What's your imagination? What's your expectation from Bangladesh in future?
I'm basically very optimistic, and I believe that the way it is projected by the Honorable Prime Minister by 2041, and I believe we can achieve ahead than that time. And it's not the data from Bangladesh. If you see the data from other third parties, what is happening in Bangladesh, and as I said, that we often say that there are a lot of manufactured data. I see in my village, I see the life of my driver. I see my domestic eight lives, how these are changed, so how fast this is moving. So I'm very optimistic that by 2030 we'll be really the way it is projected, that will be the probably seventh or the biggest economy in Asia and global. So these are very much possible, and our life will be surely a very good life with very the living standard, a blend with the South Asian moral, family as an institutions, and the background of our faith and the morality all together. I dream it would be a wonderful country, and because another positive thing I often talk that it's a nation state. We are not divided.
Yep.
So it's a nation state. Once you design a lungi, the lungi is used by the same 99% of the people, the same design. So it's a homogeneous, and it's a wonderful opportunity. It's a country of huge opportunities. So, and that's how we are going every day, and we'll be moving fast than what we are doing now. So I'm very hopeful about this.
We are almost in the end of our show. Well, before ending up, I would like to ask you your final remark or the statement on EV plant in Bangladesh. If you'd like to say something to our viewers in regards to EV plant in Bangladesh, anything optimistic, realistic, whatsoever, what's in your mind?
I can say one thing, that if anybody has any plan, anybody is thinking to invest in Bangladesh, EV is definitely a huge potential area to invest. And not only EV, uh, I mean in other areas also there are innovative areas will be coming in Bangladesh. Bangladesh is a very positive country in terms of the investment, and particularly this kind of technology like EV, when coming very cheap and very easy, uh, you can think of involving yourself and be pioneer to be part of this success. And in any sense, I mean, besides other sector, I'm not telling only that you come and invest in EV only, but definitely EV is going to be a proven case soon. But there are other sectors that where Bangladesh is going to be heaven of investment soon. And you know, Bangladesh government is creating a lot of special economic zone when those were all barren, the chore areas, the areas which were never used. So we are making all the problems to opportunities. Come and take this. That's the only message.
Yeah, thank you very much. Najmul, if you can share with us, how's your experience of today's show at Channel 20? How did you feel?
I feel very nice because, I mean, I didn't know, I mean, how did you find me and where from you're coming to talk with me? But I feel like, oh, you'll be talking on EV. It's nice. I can talk. And I love to speak. And the way we entered in conversation without knowing each other and even not knowing background, I love it. And it was a very good conversation. I feel like that we have completed the story. You never stopped me. And that's good thing that I in most of the conversation, people start talking and the host finish the rest of the thing. It didn't happen that, so I enjoyed, and you have given me the opportunity to speak, and I love to share the dream. I got the opportunity, so I enjoy too. Thank you so much, Asif.
Thank you very much, Nazbul. And with Nazbul's speech, we'd like to end up here. And let us be hopeful and dream about our EV plant in Bangladesh. And as Najbul said, it's not going to be anymore the dream. We are about to make it real, and let's hope for the best. We are moving forward. We will move forward. We shall move forward. Nobody can stop us. Let's put the tagline on the mouth of the critics and let us move forward, because after all, we love our country and we have to be proud with our country. Thanks a lot. See you next time with another guest at Channel 20. Bye-bye.
Thank you.